プロジェクトバードライオン
Expectations are a funny thing. The first time I'd ever heard of Danganronpa, it was on a preview banner for the upcoming anime season. You know the ones, with maybe like 50 different anime and maybe one that looks remotely interesting. My first impressions of the concept and the art style of Danganronpa sort of struck me as something along the lines of Mirai Nikki, a show that I personally thought was kind of terrible. I know, a lot of you guys love that Yuno character, but I just thought it was edgy for the sake of being edgy. And so it was that I dismissed Danganronpa as nothing more than the hot new series for teenagers and people wearing recreational gas masks, which, I mean, it kind of is. However, back in 2018, I stumbled upon a certain YouTuber's discussion and speculation of the character designs for Danganronpa V3. It was then that I started to realize just how truly batshit crazy this series really was. I started digging deeper and discovered what would eventually become one of my current obsessions and, to be honest, one of my favorite game franchises of all time. So, Danganronpa. What is it exactly? So you've got this black and white stuffed bear. I mean, real bear. Sorry, Monokuma. Please don't sell my kidney on the black market. This talking bear thing and a bunch of high school kids. And death and stuff. Death and despair. But as the characters make extremely clear at every possible turn. Basically though, the Danganronpa series, created by Spike Chunsoft and written by Kazutaka Kodaka, is about high school kids enlisted to attend an elite school called Hope's Peak Academy. Upon arriving, they are soon trapped inside, confronted by the headmaster, Monokuma. Monokuma informs them that they can only leave upon graduation, of which requires each student to kill another of their classmates and get away with it without being caught. Or so, at least is the plot of the first game of the series. Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, was originally released on the PSP in Japan, followed by the PlayStation Vita and PS4 worldwide, and is now available on PC and smartphones too. Largely considered to be visual novels, Danganronpa blends together various gameplay styles and gimmicks into something truly of its own category. You'll progress through the various phases of gameplay, including exploration of the school, where you'll scan for clues and chat with the other characters attending Hope's Peak. During certain phases, you'll be able to develop a deeper bond with these characters, along with unlocking personal skills tied to your relationship with them. Eventually, someone's gonna get murdered. This is a killing game after all. Once a murder takes place, you'll have to gather as many clues as you can get before progressing to what I personally consider the highlight of these games, the class trial. The class trial evolves through the game and involves all of the Hope's Peak students, led by the player character Makoto Nagi, interacting in a makeshift court trial with Monokuma acting as the judge. Think Phoenix Wright for the Adderall generation. As you go through the trial, you'll have to use words and key phrases, as well as evidence to counter or agree with the other students' theories on who the killer actually is. Sometimes you'll have to play a game of Hangman, sometimes you'll be playing a rhythm game, among others. What really makes these lengthy sections of the game special are how they blend together the unraveling of the plot twists with character banter and music and visual effects. Some of the murders are pretty obvious or easily solved. Others, however, will throw you off. This game is great at leading you down one path, only to suddenly subvert your expectations in an interesting way. I was always left speculating and making up all sorts of different theories in my mind with my viewers as I streamed the game. Speaking of characters, I forgot to mention earlier, but all of the students at Hope's Peak are the ultimate at whatever their specialty is. For example, the ultimate baseball star, or the ultimate idol, the ultimate fanfiction writer, etc. While the first game plays these tropes pretty safe, as the series progresses they become more and more wild. The main character, Makoto, is pretty much the standard stand-in character you see in a lot of modern anime, and games meant to allow you to step into their shoes and fill them with your own perspective. As far as these types of characters go, Makoto is fairly average. In fact, he doesn't even have an ultimate skill. Instead, Makoto is the ultimate lucky student, literally just picked in a lottery due to his averageness. Most of the characters in Trigger Happy Havoc, to be honest, are rather unlikable. They're interesting and fun to watch, but only a handful of them are outright likable. Kirigiri, best girl. The soundtrack by Masafumi Takada, simply put, is a f***ing jam. There's an eclectic mix of musical styles on parade here. Jazz, reggae, electronic, and garage are all blended together in interesting ways that perfectly complement the game's outrageous pop art style and themes. Personal recommendations here would probably be Box 15 and Mr. Monokuma's Lesson. Those songs get stuck in my head for days whenever I hear them. Seriously though, the soundtrack's great. Oh, and don't forget to head to the Mona Mona machine and spend your Mona coins that you'll find scattered around the environment and as a reward for chapter completion. These will net you gifts that you can use to enhance your relationships with the other students. Have you ever wanted birdseed, an unending dandelion, or a kitten hair clip? By the end of Danganronpa, you will have encountered some of the best plot twists in gaming, as well as an ending that has you immediately wanting to jump into the next game, Goodbye Despair, which we'll go into in the next video in the series. That's right, I'm doing 3 of these. So anyway, Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, is a pretty neat game, and the start of a really great franchise. They really only get better from here. I think it was somewhere around the middle of the second murder that I realized I was completely hooked and engrossed in the storyline. I'll admit, I completely misjudged just how interesting Danganronpa really is. Just, don't watch the anime. Trust me. See you next episode. Matane! Thanks for watching, guys. This is the start of a new video making adventure for me, and I'm really excited to finally jump into game videos. I've got a huge collection of dope Japanese games and other stuff I want to talk about, and this is just the beginning. See ya.